Meanwhile, what do you say to a little target practice?
Very well. Are you a good shot with the bow and arrow, Mr. Darcy?
Oh, tolerable.
Only tolerable?
Well, it's a fine old sport, and one in which even a young lady can become proficient.
So I've heard.
Short range, of course, and with a light bow. What a bad shot.
Oh, on the contrary, well done.
Well, it might have been worse. Now it's your turn. Now the bow in the left hand. This way. So, the arrow goes like this. That's right. Now these 3 fingers. So 1, 2, 3. Now the left arm straight. Now turn sideways toward the target. Aim for the bullseye. That's right. Bullseye. And another bullseye. Next time I talk to a young lady about archery, I wouldn't be so patronizing. Yes. Thank you for the lesson.
Thank you for taking it so well. Most men would have been offended, and rightly.
Would you mind telling me, Miss Bennet, why you are so determined to offend me?
Is that possible, Mr. Darcy? I thought you were invulnerable. You always look so impassive. Perhaps you don't laugh enough.
You may be right, but you haven't answered my question.
Mr. Darcy, you promised to give me a lesson with the darts.
I give no more instructions to young ladies. Hereafter they give instructions to me. What do you say, Miss Bingley? Miss Elizabeth thinks I do not laugh enough.
I should be sorry to see you laugh more than you do. To me, there's something so unrefined about excessive laughter.
Oh, if you want to be really refined, you have to be dead. There's no one as dignified as a mummy. And now may I ask you a question, Mr. Darcy?
By all means.
What would you think of a man who had everything the world has to offer? Birth, breeding, wealth, good looks, even charm when he chose to exercise it. What would be your opinion of a man with such gifts who refused to accept an introduction to another man who was poor and of no consequence?
I should reserve my opinion until I knew the circumstances of the particular case.
And do you suppose the gentleman would reveal those circumstances if he were asked?
No. A gentleman does not have to explain his actions. He expects people to give him credit for being a man of honor and integrity. And now, if you will excuse me, I will retrieve the arrows.
Jenny, scusa. Permesso. Hai potuto sapere niente?
Non molto, in verità. Il signor Bingley ignora la causa della rottura fra Darcy e Wickham, ma giura sull'onestà del suo amico.
È naturale. Ma Bingley conosce personalmente il tenente Wickham?
No, non l'aveva mai visto prima di ieri mattina.
Ho capito. Ma cosa dice dell'eredità?
Se ne ricorda molto vagamente.
Insomma, sa solo quello che gli ha detto il suo amico Darcy. Non chiedergli altro, basta così.
Come vuoi, cara.
Signorina Bennet, posso avere l'onore di questa barra?
Signor Darcy, lei mi stupisce davvero. Sinceramente credevo che lei coprisse con le sue rigide teorie sulla danza una totale incapacità di ballare.
A parte l'ironia delle sue insinuazioni, sarebbe sciocco non ammettere che a volte le circostanze possano far mutare opinione.
Oh, lo so, ma pensavo le riuscisse difficile adattare idee e sentimenti alle circostanze. Pensavo.
Lei pensa un po' troppo e troppo male di me. Comunque mi riferivo a circostanze più importanti.
Io invece mi riferivo ad una persona che ho conosciuto appena 2 giorni fa e sulla quale il peso dei suoi giudizi ha avuto conseguenze veramente importanti.
Vuol dire il tenente Wickham? Ah sì, una persona abilissima nel procurarsi nuove amicizie. Quanto a sapersele conservare è un'altra cosa. Davvero non desidera parlare?
Preferirei di no.
Possiamo continuare a parlare, allora.
Sarà difficile trovare un argomento di conversazione. Vede, ci deve essere una grande affinità mentale fra noi due. Siamo di natura poco socievole e taciturna e non parliamo volentieri. A meno che non si speri di dire qualcosa da far colpo su tutta la sala e da passare ai posteri come una frase storica.
Questa veramente non è l'immagine più esatta del suo carattere. Quanto poi rassomiglia al mio, non saprei dirlo. Lei però crede certamente di aver fatto un ritratto fedele.
Non ho dubbi in proposito.
E fa male, perché almeno su certe cose potrebbe ricredersi.
Complimenti. Non credevo saremmo riusciti a parlare tanto. Ora possiamo concederci un meritato silenzio.
Come preferisci.
To be asked to dance by Mr. Darcy.
Honored, Lady Lucas. You may choose your own nation of honor, but for my part it is Lizzy who is giving the honor to Mr. Darcy.
Do you prefer the minuet to the boulanger, Mr. Darcy?
I have no preference in the matter.
It's your turn to say something, Mr. Darcy. I talked about the dance. You ought to make some remark about the size of the room or the number of the couples.
I will agree with any observation you care to make on either subject.
That reply will do for the present. Perhaps by and by I may observe that private balls are much pleasanter than public ones. And now, may we be silent?
Do you talk by rule, then, while you are dancing?
Sometimes one must talk a little, you know. It would look odd to be entirely silent.
Are you consulting your own feelings in the present case, or do you imagine that you are gratifying mine?
Both. I have always seen a great similarity in the turn of our mind. We are each unwilling to speak unless we expect to say something that will amaze the whole room.
This is no striking resemblance to your character, I'm sure. How near it may be to mine, I cannot pretend to say. You think it a faithful portrait, undoubtedly.
You must not ask me to pass judgment on my own performance.
Within 3 or 4 months at the latest, I expect Jane to be mistress of Netherfield. Indeed? Has he made her an offer? Oh, not in terms. Not yet. But he has made his intentions perfectly plain. Such a charming man. So rich. Living only 3 miles from Longbourn.
The presence of the Loamshire must have added much sparkle to your Hertfordshire society.
Oh, yes, indeed. We would be very dull without them. We have recently formed a new acquaintance within the regiment who is, so I understand, known to you. Mr. George Wickham.
Mr. Wickham is blessed with such happy manners as may ensure his making friends. Whether he is equally capable of retaining them is less certain.
He's been so unlucky as to lose your friendship, and in the manner which he is likely to suffer from all his life.
My dear sir, such very superior dancing is not often seen. However, allow me to remark that your fair partner did not disgrace you. But let me not interfere, sir. You will not take me for retaining you from the bewitching converse of the young lady whose bright eyes are also upbraiding me.
Sir William could hardly have interrupted any 2 people in the room who had less to say to each other. What we are to talk of next, I cannot imagine.
What think you of books?
Books? Oh, no, I'm sure we never read the same books, or not with the same feelings.
I'm sorry you think so. But if that be the case, we can compare our different opinions.
No, I cannot talk of books in a ballroom.
The present always occupies you in such cases, does it?
Yes, always. I remember once hearing you say, Mr. Darcy, that you hardly ever forgave, that your resentment, once created, was unappeasable. You are particularly cautious, I suppose, as to its being created.
I am.
And never allow yourself to be blinded by prejudice?
I hope not.
It is particularly incumbent on those who never change their opinion to be sure of judging properly at first.
May I ask to what these questions tend?
I'm trying to make your character out.
And what is your success?
I do not get on at all. I hear such varying reports of you as to puzzle me exceedingly.
Are you enjoying the dance, Mr. Darcy?
Very much.
It's your turn to say something, Mr. Darcy. I talked about the dance. You should make some kind of remark about the size of the room or the number of couples.
I will say whatever you wish me to say.
Very well, that remark will do for present. Perhaps by and by I may remark that private balls are pleasanter than public ones, but not yet.
You talk by rule, then, when dancing?
One must arrange the conversation so as to have the trouble of speaking as little as possible.
Are you consulting your own feelings, or do you imagine that you're gratifying mine?
Both. I see a resemblance in the turn of both our minds. We are each of a taciturn, unsocial disposition, unwilling to speak, unless it be to say something that will amaze the world. Mr. Wickham was talking of you the other day. I see he's not here tonight.
Mr. Wickham is blessed, unlike myself, with such happy manners as may ensure his making many friends.
He seems to have lost your friendship, Mr. Darcy, in a manner most unfortunate. He will suffer for it for the rest of his life.
Some conversation, Mr. Darcy. A very little will suffice. You should say something about the dance, perhaps. I might remark on the number of couples.
You talk by rule, then, when you're dancing?
Yes, sometimes it is best. Then we may enjoy the advantage of saying as little as possible.
Do you consult your own feelings in this case, or seek to gratify mine?
Both, I imagine. We're each of an unsocial, taciturn disposition. I'm willing to speak unless we expect to say something that will amaze the whole room.
This is no very striking resemblance of your own character, I'm sure.
Yes, quite often. When you met us the other day, we'd just been forming a new acquaintance.
Wickham has the happy manners that enable him to make friends. Whether he's equally capable of keeping them is less certain.
He's been unlucky as to lose your friendship in a way he's likely to suffer from all his life.
Allow me to congratulate you, sir. Such superior dancing is rarely to be seen. I'm sure you'll own your fair partner is well worthy of you. I hope to have this pleasure often repeated, especially when a certain desirable event takes place. Eh, Miss Lizzy? What congratulations will then flow in?
Sir, I think...
Nay, I understand. I'll not detain you one moment longer from your bewitching partner, sir. A pleasure, sir. Capital, capital.
I remember hearing you once say that you hardly ever forgave, that your resentment once created was implacable. You are very careful, are you not, in allowing your resentment to be created?
I am.
And never allow yourself to be blinded by prejudice?
I hope not. May I ask to what these questions tend?
Merely to the illustration of your character. I'm trying to make it out.
And what is your success?
I do not get on at all. I hear such different accounts of you as to puzzle me exceedingly.
I wish, Miss Bennet, that you would not attempt to sketch my character at the present moment. I fear the performance would reflect no credit on either of us.
And if I don't take your likeness now, I may never have another opportunity.
I would by no means suspend any pleasure of yours.
I love this dance.
Indeed, most invigorating.
It's your turn to say something, Mr. Darcy. I talked about the dance. Now you ought to remark on the size of the room or the number of couples.
I'm perfectly happy to oblige. Please advise me of what you would like most to hear.
That reply will do for present. Perhaps by and by I may observe that private balls are much pleasanter than public ones. For now we may remain silent.
You talk as a rule while dancing?
No. No, I prefer to be unsociable and taciturn. Makes it all so much more enjoyable, don't you think?
Tell me, do you and your sisters very often walk to Meryton?
Yes, we often walk to Meryton. It's a great opportunity to meet new people. In fact, when you met us, we've just had the pleasure of forming a new acquaintance.
Mr. Wickham is blessed with such happy manners. He is sure of making friends. Whether he's capable of retaining them is less certain.
He's been so unfortunate as to lose your friendship. And I dare say that is an irreversible event.
It is. Why do you ask such a question?
To make out your character, Mr. Darcy.
And what have you discovered?
Very little. I hear such different accounts of you as puzzle me exceedingly.
I hope to afford you more clarity in the future.